Holiday Concepts here to show you how to shape a tree. This tree is all set up and we're going to go through the process and give you some pointers on how you can take your artificial tree out of the box and make it as gorgeous as this. When unpacking your tree, make sure that you unpack the box entirely. Make sure you have all your parts, and most importantly, make sure you have your instruction sheet, because your instruction sheet is going to tell you how many parts should be in there, and the instruction sheet is also going to tell you how to put your tree together, and more importantly, on the pre-lit trees, how to plug your tree in. As you can see here, we have our top, the bottom, the middle section of the tree, and very importantly, the foundation of the tree, the stand. Alright, the first part of setting up your tree is getting the tree stand prepared. Very important that you read the instructions because it's going to tell you how to put your tree stand together properly. And this is the foundation of the tree, so you want to have a strong, properly assembled foundation. So please read the instructions. Now, the bottom section of the tree has a point on it that just gets inserted into the stand. And with this one, you just press down in. You can feel it go all the way down. And then you want to feel underneath the stand to make sure the tree is fully seated down in there. And then this particular one, we just crank down on this collar, which will lock the tree into place. So once that's done, you're ready to start shaping your tree. Now that you have your bottom section securely in the stand, you can cut this wrapping material very carefully and let the branches fall down. Now at this point, a lot of people will start putting the next section in, put the top on. What I like to do is shape the tree at this point, this bottom section. Now you notice that I have the tree plugged in, all the lights are on. I encourage you to do this because as you're fluffing, if you hit a loose bulb or something like that, the light set flickers, you're going to know you're in a general area where there may be a problem. But basically, when shaping or fluffing the tree, this is what makes it pretty looking. What I like to do is start at the bottom whorl of branches and just work my way up. And since we don't have that middle section in our way, it's much easier to do. But to show you, basically what you want to do is you need to open up all these small branches. And basically what you're doing is just doing it in a fan pattern as you're coming out. And you just want to go around and do that to all these tips. Your hand should touch every tip on the tree. Now it takes a little bit of time during the initial setup to do this, but you're going to have a much prettier looking tree at the end. It's going to look full. You're not going to be seeing through it, and it's just going to look good for your ornaments to go on it. You just shape the bottom. Next thing you want to do is put your middle section in once this bottom section is all shaped. And we have this middle section here. Now this is another place where it becomes very important to read your instructions because it's going to tell you how to plug your tree in. Now in this one, on the instruction sheet, it shows that the middle section plugs in to the bottom section. Here we have the plug for the middle section, and here's where it plugs in to the top section. You plug it in there, and just for purposes here, we'll just sort of open that up. And then you can go around and shape the tree. And then the last section, the top section, is here. Again, this top section will just plug into the middle section, which is right here. And there you go. You have your tree is on its way to being set up. Now you have to go through and fluff all these branches, which does take a time on the initial setup. And this is a good time to talk about something about storage of the trees. What I encourage people to do when they store the tree is, don't try to cram this tree back in the box that it came in. That box is for shipping, it's not for storage. You may be able to store the stand and a section of the tree in that box, but what I would like to do is use large tree storage bags out there, or even an old set of sheets. You take these trees down at the end of the season, fold them up gently, wrap them up gently, and you're going to save yourself some time next season when you go to set up, because the tree's essentially already fluffed. You just have to maybe tweak a few branches here or there. And it's also going to increase the longevity of your tree, because these branches aren't getting crushed down, opened back up, so the tree's going to look better for a longer period of time. And also it's easier on the light set. A lot of light set failures that we get are the results of people trying to cram them back into the box. Bulbs get broken, wires get cut. If you treat it gently, you avoid a lot of those problems. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about as far as the light sets go is these trees come with a little packet of replacement bulbs, and you do have to look at the tree. These bulbs should last, 2,500 to 3,000 hours, but you do have to look around, and if you see a burnt out bulb on your tree, please replace it quickly. What can happen over time is if too many bulbs on one strand of lights burn out, all of a sudden you'll see a section of the tree, the light set seems much brighter than the others, and what will eventually happen is all of a sudden the light set goes out and you look and all these bulbs are black. That's what's known as a cascade. Essentially what happens is as the bulbs burn out on that strand, it overloads the other bulbs and they just sort of supernova and all go out at once, and what you have to do is replace every one of those bulbs, which is time consuming and easily avoidable if you just replace the bulb when you see it's burnt out. Now, as far as replacement bulbs go, I said it did come with many replacement bulbs, but if you need more, one thing to remember with these trees is the voltage on the bulb is 2.5, so you want to look for that type of replacement bulb. But the other thing that you need to remember is that this little plastic base is what's known as a husk, and it's unique to this light set. So you can buy other replacement bulbs and simply pull the glass vial part out. So you have just the actually bulb part and the base part, and you need to hold on to these bases because they're unique, and you can use another 2.5 or volt bulb that comes from a 50 light set. And then you just insert the glass vial part in. You see the Dumit wires come out of the bottom. You just bend them back around and insert the bulb in there, and you have a functioning light set again. The different types of tips that you find on a tree, right here you can see this is what we call a Like-Life molded tip. It's made out of polyethylene plastic, and it's actually molded from a real life tip of a tree.